Hi everyone, it's Yogi here.
And I'm Yogini.
Now this is the second part to the 4-part series on bandhas. Bandhas are locks. This is where we put our attention in one area and we squeeze and we hold tight to create some energy, to bring more prana into that area, which we use for healing of the body if we have any ailments, or to further our practice when we're doing our daily practice. Now, you've learned in the first series Mula Bandha, the lock at the bottom. And in the second series now we're going to come to Uddiyana Bandha. This is in the whole stomach and navel region that we're going to be focusing on. Now, if you haven't done the first practice, you have to do that one first. Because although these are practices that we do separately, we're going to bring them, all three of them together at the end and do Mahabandha, which is the big lock. This is where we get huge benefits in our practice and we really move forward in our practice as well. So we don't miss out the first one and go to the second one or the third one. We do the first one, we kind of master it, then we come to this series and master this, and then move on to the third series. And then in the fourth part, we'll bring them all together.
So let's understand the science behind the practice. As we know, the practices of yoga are meant to keep the body and mind operating at its highest potential, and this is achieved by working with the central nervous system, which controls all functions of the body and mind. With yoga bandhas, we are able to directly stimulate a specific nerve plexus along the spinal column and increase its power and energy, which increases the power and function to whichever operating system, organ, glands, and hormones which it controls. In this series, we are learning the 4 yoga bandhas, and the first 3, with each one, stimulates 2 nerve plexuses along the spinal column, starting at the base, moving to the center, all the way up to the top. In part 1, we learned Mula Bandha, which stimulated the coccygeal and sacral nerve plexuses, also known as Muladhara and Swadhisthana chakra. We will now move on to Uddiyana Bandha, an abdominal lock or contraction, and it will stimulate the solar plexus and thoracic plexus, which is also known as Manipur and Anahata chakra. These energy centers control the digestive, circulatory, respiratory systems of the body. So all of the digestive organs, the lungs, the heart, and all of their associated glands and hormones.
So let's talk about the health benefits of doing Uddiyana. Now, Uddiyana is in the stomach, the navel area, and this is dominated by Pitta energy in the Ayurvedic system. Pitta is the fire of the body. So we're going to start to balance the heat in the body. We're going to and that heat is going to balance the liver and the kidneys as well. Remember, when we do one practice in one area, the surrounding areas also get all the benefits as well. And then Agni. Agni is the fire of the stomach. That's where your acidity is. If you have over acidity of the body, that's going to become balanced. The microbiome of the body is going to get built up. So anything to do with your digestive system is going to benefit a lot. Now, when we do these practices, just remember we don't do them if we have a hernia or if we have an ulcer and things like that. First, you've got to heal yourself. So you can bring attention to that area even without doing this practice by just focusing on it and doing your breath work. And of course, we're bringing a lot of different health in this region because the heart and the stomach, this area, these 2 plexuses or chakras as they're known, they're connected, and good health or bad health really comes out of these 2, right? Because our mood and our overall health is really affected. In Ayurveda, we say the digestion is the first place we go to when we want to bring health into the system. So we first balance the digestive system, And this is an amazing practice for that. And once we do that, many of our other health issues go away. So, and also things like the thymus gland, for example, is going to be much more healthy when you do this practice, because it's going to squeeze this whole area and bring so much more prana to it.
So let's understand the emotional connection of the practice. As we know, every nerve plexus along the spinal column is directly connected to an emotional center within the mind. So when we stimulate energy in a nerve plexus, we simultaneously stimulate energy in its corresponding emotional center. Now, the third energy center, the solar plexus, governs the emotional qualities of willpower and drive. When it is weak, we experience a lack of drive. We are unable to complete things and reach our goals. This directly affects our self-esteem and can lead to depression. When we increase energy in this center, we increase our willpower and our drive and our endurance. We are able to complete tasks and reach our goals. This gives us a feeling of achievement. It brings confidence. So it's a really strong and powerful center, right, for what we want to achieve in life. Now moving up to the fourth center. It governs emotionality itself. So if energy is weak in this center, we're really emotional and we're volatile. And we experience selfishness because we're constantly consumed with everything that we are feeling, right? We're not thinking about others. We're so thinking about ourself and our emotions. When we increase the energy in this center, the emotions become refined. So it's the higher emotions that we begin to experience. So that's selflessness, that's forgiveness, and unconditional love. So it's a beautiful center. And what we aim to rise towards as seekers on the path.
So let's get to the practice itself. So in preparation for it, you have to remember a couple of things. So I'm going to demonstrate the practice itself. Won't be able to speak during the practice, so Yogini is going to take us through the process while I do the practice. Two things you have to remember here. We're going to expel all the air by exhaling, and we do this kind of vigorously. And once we've exhaled, we don't breathe again, we hold the breath, and then the stomach is going to go in and up. So it's if this is your first time, it's going to feel very kind of awkward. But remember, you don't need to go gung-ho and really go for it. You just do this in a very gentle way, because getting the rhythm of this is really important first. Once you've got the rhythm, then as you keep doing it, everything's going to fall into place. Right? So as ever, you always sit up tall, your shoulders are back, your head is straight. You take a few breaths in and out. And you prepare the body. Good. And like I said before, if you have an ulcer, if you have a hernia in this area, you don't do this practice.
And always on an empty stomach.
Yes, never on a full stomach. You'll know that very quick. Good. So I will do the practice and Yogini will take us through the process.
So you'll take a deep inhalation. Completely exhale. Now you suck the stomach inward and upward, the diaphragm dome shapes. You're pressing the navel as far back as you can, trying to touch the spine. Whenever you need the breath, you take it. You never strain. So you slowly release the stomach, open the chest, raise the head, and then take the breath. You never take the breath when you're still curled over. So make sure the spine is erect, the neck is straight, and then take your inhalation.
So you inhale, exhale, hold the breath, suck the stomach in, bring it up. And what you'll notice is because you're down here and you're not breathing, you've created a vacuum in your stomach. And as you come up, naturally the stomach will follow that direction of going in and up, and that dome shape will be created. Lock your shoulders, bring them forward, bring the chin towards the chest. And you should be very comfortable. If suddenly you need to breathe, release, head up, inhale. Right? Never breathe when your head's here because you'll start coughing. Okay, so let's do a few rounds together. So you're inhaling, exhaling. You inhale. Exhale forcefully. Keep the breath in. Suck the stomach tight and start to come up. And your stomach is at a dome shape and it's gone in and upward. Shoulders are rounded. Chin is towards the chest. Remember, when you need to come out of it, you release the shoulders, you release the head, and then you inhale. If you're still in the practice, you can continue. If you've come out of the practice, just observe what the practice is doing for you. What's happening when you hold that energy in the solar plexus, in the Spadishta, and in the Manipur, chakra. Good. So we'll do a next round. So if you're comfortable, you continue. If you feel you've had enough, this can get vigorous for you. So you only do this if you're comfortable. So you inhale, exhale. You inhale. Exhale forcefully. Suck in the stomach. Bring it up. Lock the shoulders. Bring the shoulders forward. Bring the chin towards the chest. Bring all your attention to Manipur chakra in the navel area. Remember, if you need to come out of it, you release the shoulders first. Bring your head up, and then inhale. Observe the energy and the result of your practice. So don't hold the breath as long as possible. Hold the breath as long as possible to the point that you're comfortable, and you need to release in a comfortable way, not in a rushed way. We'll do the third round. Inhale, exhale. You inhale. Exhale all the air out. Suck the stomach in, bring it up, shoulders curve round, chin comes towards the chest, and you hold the lock. All your attention is on the navel area. So we're holding it for a bit, but if you need to come out of it, remember to release and inhale when you bring the chin up. So coming out of it, release the shoulders, bring the head up, and inhale. Observe the results of your practice. Good, and you can open the eyes. So when you're coming out of it, I naturally don't say release the bandha itself, because as you release the head, naturally the bandha releases itself as well, and then you inhale. So everything should be smooth. If there's any kinks in there where you're rushing or you're out of breath, just know you're holding your breath too long. So modify that. Modify everything where it's not smooth, right? So you get into this rhythm, and once you've got it smooth and you have the rhythm, then you extend the breath, then you hold it longer, because in the practice itself, you don't want to lose your focus of focusing your attention and awareness in the navel area. You want to know what's going on there. So you don't want to be distracted by, oh, I haven't held my breath. Oh, I've got to let go of my breath. Oh, I'm running out of breath. So it's got to be very smooth.
You don't want to upset the mind and make it unpeaceful during the practice.
Yeah.
You can add these bandhas after your daily practice of asana and pranayama, so postures and breath work. And then that would also be before your practices of concentration and meditation. We hope you enjoyed this segment, and may your practice be blessed. Hari Om Tat Sat.
Hari Om.